Boker Tov. Welcome to Agudath Israel. It's Ahayem Synagogue here in Montgomery, Alabama. I am Rabbi Scott Kramer. Welcome to our morning weekday Shacharit service. We are praying out of Siddur Sim Shalom. Excuse me. And we begin on page 6. Please rise if you are able for the Birchot HaShachar. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher natan lasech v'vina lavchin ben yom uvein laila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam shesani betzomahu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam shesani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam shesani ben chorin. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam mabish aramim. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech olam matihir asurim. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech olam zakev kefufim. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech olam rekal haaretz alamayim. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech olam chas alikot sarki. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech olam hamechin mitzadei gaver. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech olam ozer Yisrael bigvura. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech olam Otei Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech olam hanotehin layoev koach. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech olam. Utenenu hayom v'chol yom l'chin l'chesed rachmi b'necho v'necho ed v'tigmalenu chasadim tovim. Baruch Adonai Chasadim Tovim Lemo Yisrael. Please, we continue on page 14 with Psalm 30. Mizmor Shir Chanukat Ba'ile David. Boker Tov, Diane. And Emily. Havachtem ispedi lamochali pitakti saki vazganisim chalaman yuzemech avad veloidom Adonai Elohai lelam odeka. We turn to page 16. We rise for Baruch She'amar. Baruch She'amar ve'ayaulam Baruch Hu. Baruch Severeshit Baruch Me'av Yoseh. Baruch Ozerim Kayim Baruch Mirachim al haaretz. Baruch Mirachim al habriot. Baruch Mishalim Sachar Tov L'Rav. Baruch Ha'evekayam Lo Netzach Baruch Pinamatziel Baruch Shemo. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam. Yachid Chel Mi Melech Mishabak V'Reshma Gadol Baruch Adonai Melech Mehulal Batishpachot. You may be seated. We continue with Ashrei, page 21. Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha, Od Hallelu Chasel Hashem Shekachalo, Hashem Shadonai Elohav Dilel David. Tilat Adonai Devar Pi V'Varek B'Asar Shem Kacholilam V'Ad V'Nachnu Nevarech Yam Yatavilam. Hallelujah. Page 25 in the middle, Psalm 150. Hallelujah, hallelujah, B'Kodesh B'Kiya Uzo. Hallelujah, V'Gvorot V'Lakrav Gudlo. Hallelujah, B'Teka Shofar. Hallelujah, Meneva V'Chinor. Hallelujah, B'Tofa Macho. Hallelujah, B'Minim V'Yugav. Hallelujah, B'Tziot Zlei Shema. Hallelujah, B'Tziot Zlei Trua. Kol Neshama Ta'alaya, Hallelujah. Kol Neshama Ta'alaya, Hallelujah. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen v'Amen. Baruch Mitzion Shechen Yerushalayim, Hallelujah. Baruch Adonai Elohim Elohei Yisrael Nifla Levado. Uvaroch Shem Kavodo Le'Elohim Lechvet Koharetz. Amen v'Amen. Page 29. Ishtabach Shimcha Le'ad Malkeinu. Berachot Vedot Metaviat Ulam Baruch Atah Adonai El Melech Gadol Batishbacho Deilodot Adonai Niflo Tabocher B'Shirei Zimra Melech Chocheho Ulami. We have concluded the preliminary part of our service. We continue with the main part, which begins with, on page 30, with the Baruch Hu, or the call to worship. Baruch Hu et Adonai hamavorach, Baruch Adonai varach lilam va'ed, Baruch et Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, yotzei v'rei choshech, Ose shalom avorei hakol, hame'elot v'ladorim alehim barachamim u'v'tuvim. Hey Baruch Gedol Deharich Hazahei Chama. Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu Shevach Masei Decha V'Yamaresh Siti Yefaru Chasila. Titbarach. No sound? Okay. I was going to say, it seems like there's sound here, unless there's something I missed. Hopefully you can hear. User error. Okay. Page 31. Dit Barak Sureda Makin Vagolim Barei Kadoshim. Vechulam Bodchim et Biem Biktushav Tahara B'Shurev Zimra Varchim B'Shabachim Varim Maritzihim Umakdishim Umamlichim Et Shemo El Melech Hagido Gibor Vano Kadoshu Vechulam Kablim Alayam Omachut Shemaim Zamiza Venodrim Reshut Zelaza Lakdish Leotam Menachad Ruach Besafav Ravnim HaKadosha Kulam Kechadonim V'Yamachim B'Yirah Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzvaot, Melech Haaretz Kavodo, V'Ofanim V'Chayot HaKodesh, Parash Kadom Natzarafim, L'matam Meshabechi V'Yamarim, Baruch V'Adonai Mimkomo, Le'e Baruch Nimhot Yiteinu. Or Chadash Al Tzion Ta'iv Niskech Olam Me'era La'ora Baruch Atah Adonai Yotzer Hamiho. Page 32. Avara B'Vetanu Adonai Eloheinu Chem L'Gadol Fadech Malta Aleinu Avinu Malkin Ba'avor V'Tein Shabbat Chovecha Vat Lamdein Chokei Chaim Kein Techneinu Lamdeinu. The Shema is next. Ve'keravtan Shimcha Gadol Salabi Amed Lahodo L'cho Yecherecha B'Yahava Baruch Atah Adonai Aboche B'Yamo Yisrael B'Yahava Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol v'avcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'oile asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al v'avecha V'shinanatam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shachpecha v'kumecha וקשרתם לאותה ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם מזוזות ביתך, ובישעריך, והיה אם שמוע תשמעו אל מצוותי. Vayomer Adonai Moshe lemor daber b'nei Yisrael v'yamarta lehem Yasulehem tzitzit al kanfei v'gdehem l'doratam v'natnu al tzitzit hakana patil t'chelet v'haya lachem l'tzitzit oritem otos hartem et kol mitzvot Adonai v'asitem otam V'lo tatu acharei levavchem v'achareinichem asher tem zonim achareihem leman dizgaruhu v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kadoshim leloechem ani Adonai Eloechem asher hotzeiti techem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Eloechem emet. Ledorvet okayam ushmokayam v'chisonacham machutovim nato le'ahad kayamet. We're at the bottom, page 34. Welcome, Jack. Nice to see you. Hope the villages are treating you both well. Udvar v'chaim. Emet shatahu Adonai Eloheinu v'levatenu makinu melech avotenu go'elenu go'el avotenu yotzenu tzur yeshotenu podenu matzilenu melam shemecha ein Elohim zulatecha ehezrat avotenu atau me'olam magin mashiach. Tilad le'eled yon brachim vrachim Moshe uvenei Yisra'el neshira b'simcha rabba v'yamachu chulam mi chamocha ba'ilim Adonai mi chamocha neda b'kodesh narati lo tosefei le'shira chadasha shibachu ge'ule shimcha svatayam yachad kulamodu v'imlechu v'yamechu Adonai imloch le'lam vo'ed Tzor Yisrael, Kuma B'Ezrat Yisrael, Ufteichin Umecha Yehuda V'Yisrael, Go Aleinu Adonai Tzavahot Shemo Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ka'al Yisrael. We rise for the Amidah, pages 36 to 44. We will begin the Amidah together, beginning on page 36b for the first three brachot. Then you may continue and recite the final 16 by yourselves. Page 36b. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Eloheinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Gadol Gibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim v'Konei HaKol V'zocher chastei avot mevigo elevnei v'neihem leman sheba b'yahava melech ozer fakid u'mashiach magen Baruch Atah Adonai magen Avram ufakid Saram Nata Gibor Leilam Adonai mechayei meitim torav lo shia mashiva ruach mrida Gashem mechalkei Ahayem b'chesed mechayei meitim brachamim rabim samech naflim v'cholim u'matir asurim makayem unat Tole shenei afar, mi chamocha bag gvurot umido melach, melech memit u'mechayeh matzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman אתה לחיות מתים baruch אתה Adonai מחיה המתים נקדש את שמך בעולם כשם שמקדישים אותו משמי מרום ככתוב ביד נביאך וכרזל זה ויאמר קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלך הארץ כבודו לעומתם ברוך ימירו ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו ובדברי קדשך כתוב לאמור ימלוך אדוני לעולם אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור הללויה לדור ודור נגיד גודלך ונצח נצחים קדושך דנקדיש ושבחך מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד כי המלך גדול וקדוש אתה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone has had a good week up this far and looking forward to Shabbat. We are now going to transition to our Torah service, our virtual Torah service, page 65. So at this point, I'll ask everyone, if you are able, to please rise for the Torah service as the ark is open, page 65. ויהי בנשוא אהרון ויאמר משה כמו אדוני יפוץ יבך וינוסו משנאיך מפניך כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר אדוני מירושלים ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו גדלו לאדוני איתי ונרממה שמו יחדיו לכבוד המלוכה הגדולה לכבוד הגדולה והגבובתי ועד נצח וההוד כי כל בשמיים ובארץ לך המלאכה מתנשא לכל ראש רוממו אדוני אלוהינו וישתחוו לאדם רגליו קדוש הוא רוממו אדוני אלוהינו וישתחוו להר קדושו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו. Again, welcome to everyone. The Torah portion for this week is the last portion of the book of Genesis, a book filled with blessing, which I will talk about more on Shabbat. Genesis 47, verse 28, I'll chant the three brachot, the three aliyot, and then do a synopsis. Vayechi Yaakov be'eretz Mitzrayim 17 shana, vayehi yemei Yaakov shnei chayav, 7 shanim ve'arba'im me'at shana, vayikrevu yemei Yisrael lamud, vayikra livnei leosef, vayomer lo imna matzati chen beinecha, Simna yadecha tachat yerhechi, ve'asita imadi chesed ve'emet, al na tikbereni b'Mitzrayim, ve'shechavati im avotai, unsatani b'Mitzrayim, ukvartani b'kvuratam, vayomar, anochi e'eseh chidvarecha, vayomer, hishava ali, V'yishava lo, v'yishtachu Yisrael al rosh hamitah. Second aliyah, Genesis chapter 48, verse 1. Vayehi acharei advarim ha'ele, vayomer liYosef, hine avicha choleh, vayikach et shnei banav imo, et Menashe v'et Ephraim, vayaged liYaakov vayomer hinei bincha Yosef ba'elecha v'yitchazek Yisrael vayeshev al mitah, vayomer Yaakov el Yosef el Shaddai nira elai beluz be'eretz Canaan, Vayevarech oti. Third and final aliyah, Genesis chapter 48, verse 4. Vayomer elai hineni mafrecha v'hirbiticha untaticha likal amhim v'natati et haaretz azod l'zarecha charecha achuzat olam V'yata shnei vanecha hanoladim lecha be'eretz Mitzrayim ad boi elecha Mitzrayim alihem Ephraim u'Menashe Kiruvein v'Shimon yihiu li u'moladcha asher holadta achareihem lecha yihiu Al Shem Achehem Yikaru Benachalatam Vani Bevoi Mipadan Meita Alai Rachel Be'eretz Canaan Baderech Be'od Kivrad Eretz Lavo Ephrata V'yekbere Hasham Baderech Ephrat Hi Beit Lachem Vaya Yisrael et b'nei Yosef, vayomer mi elem. Vayomer Yosef el aviv banayim, asher natan li ale Elohim bazeh. Vayomar kachem na elai va'avarechem. A synopsis of Vayechi. From Well-Versed in Scripture, the first 5 books of the Bible in contemporary rhyme by Cantor Elias Ruchvar. Since the end of Mikate, 17 years have passed, and the time now draws near for Jacob to breathe his last. He says to son Joseph, my end is drawing nigh, so please place your palm under my thigh. I don't want to be buried here in Egypt. Promise you'll bury me in our family crypt. Take my remains and enter them up there, said Jacob to Joseph. You swear? I swear. Jacob then calls for each son to approach, and he blessed. This then becomes his final bequest. He blesses each son from firstborn to last with a blessing appropriate to each one's past. After blessing each son whom he had sired, Jacob lay back in bed and promptly expired. He was gathered to his people in the biblical phrase used when the person is worthy of praise. Joseph first mourned, and then in turn he had his dad embalmed for the journey. All Jacob's sons followed their pa to its final resting place, the cave of Machpelah. Joe's brothers worried that with their dad out of the way, their evil deed Joe might be inclined to repay. So they said to him, Joe, it was Dad's dying charge that you forgive us for our sin, though it was large. Joe cried that they still doubted his good intentions. He tried to remove all their apprehensions. You guys can forget that ancient slight. God sent me here and things have turned out all right. And to show you that I bear no grudge, I am willing to support y'all financially, including the chillin'. Joseph lived to be 110 and even lived to see his grandchildren. And from his deathbed, as his dad had before, he gathered his family and they all swore that when God would remember and spring them from Egypt to bring his remains to the family crypt. Thus ends the first book that Moses wrote, and from which we move to Exodus, in Hebrew, Shemot. It's clever. Now offer a mishaberach for those in and out of our community in need of a special prayer, a blessing for healing, physical, emotional, or spiritual. Mi sheberach avotenu Avraham Yitzhak v'Yaakov she'avka rachav v'Leah hu yivarech v'rapeh et. Terry Aronov, Helen Byrne, Rhonda Blitz, Baruch Ben Elisheva, Arnold Fair, Sheila Guidry, Chana Batzara, Linda Smith, Marjorie Allen, Charles Miller, Sherry Russ, Iris Bat Rivka, Becca Martinez, Isaac Ben Joseph, Marsha Orange, Harav Malki Ben Barucha, Beckett Quinn, Bowman, Jerry Weisenfeld, Kay Booley, Jeannie Miser, Miriam Batina, Tara Martinez Fernandez, Liz Wolko, Deanna Barber, Miriam Bat Rivka, Taraz Bat Ruth, Mark Platnick, Merlone Jermaine Barnes, Virginia Madden, Raymond Labato Jr., Natalie Copeland, Christopher Hill, Lorenzo Rivera, Tainer Boulard Rivera, Ed Jackman, Scott Decker, Bela Basrivka, William Williams, Marilyn Fadomsky, Jim Mittenswy, Lucy and Tilly Caldwell, Danny Bierman, Sheila Decker, Todd Bapp, Eugene Labato, Dana Driscoll, Razel Bat Taraz, Roland Young, Marilyn Owens, Matt Zobel, Nami Rivka Bat Miriam, Yael Bat Nami Rivka, Sarah Shoshana Bat Nami Rivka. V'et kol achim b'kila kadosha Agudath Israel Tzachayim v'kila Temple Beth Or HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachamim Aleim Lachazim Rabatam Vishlach Leim Refuah Shlim Min HaShemayim Refuat Nefesh V'Udaguf B'toch Shachalei Yisrael V'Chazek Yidei Asken B'tzarchehem Hashtabeg Lavizman Kariv Avinomar Amen. We rise to return the virtual Sefer Torah as the ark is open, page 76. Yahalelu et Shem Adonai ki niskav shemo levado hodu al eretz v'shamayim vayon kaliyamaho tila lacho chasidav lifnei escham kavo hallelujah leDavid mizmor l'Adonai ha'etzma tevel v'yoshveva. Page 77. Uvnucho yomah ki lekach tov natati lachem torati al tazovu Eitz Chayimi Lamachazikim Ba V'tomchea Meyushar Dirachea Darchei Noam V'chol Netivotea Shalom Hashivenu Adonai Elecha V'nashuva Chadesh Chadesh Ameinu Chadesh Ameinu Kikedem. You may be seated. We continue on page 78 with Ashrei. Ashrei, Oshrei, Veitecha. Tilat Adonai Deber Pivi V'Rek Basar Shimkot Yalilam V'Ad V'Nachnu Nevrech Yamiyat Avilam. Hallelujah. Lam Natzech Mizmor LeDavid. Adonai Shemech Yinenu V'Yom Kareinu V'Aletzion Goelo Shafesh Yab Yaakov Num Adonai V'Nim V'Yad HaKadosh Yoshev Dilet Yisrael V'Kazaz Av Yom Har Kadosh 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 Shalai Tzvot Melech Haaretz Kavodo. V'Tiser V'Shma Achara Kohash Kado Baruch Adonai Mimkomu. Adonai Mloch Lilam Vohid. Vayivtechu v'cho yedei shmechi kelov dedeshech Adonai Anoch v'tzmantzid go yagti Torah aviyadi. Here, page 83. We rise once again for the ark is open for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach lado nako latet gdula liotzir bereshit shalo asan kagoye aratzot v'lo samanu kamishmachot hadama. Shalo sam chelkenu kahe v'go raleinu kechol hamadam v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lefnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Gagadu b'doretech Adonai imloch lilam voed v'nehemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom mahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Those observing yard site and those who mourn remain standing. Page 84, and join me for the Kaddish Tome, the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabba v'yomad divrah chirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechan v'yamechan v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael Bagalav Isman Karivi Mahu Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevarach Lelam Omel Maya. Yitbarach Vishtabach Vitbaar Vitromam Vietnase. Vietadar Vitalev Vitalal Shmei de Kudisha Barichu. Leilamit Kol Birchata Vishirata Tushbachata Venechamata. Da Amiran Bielmavi Mahu Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'mahu Amen. Ose Shalom B'mermav Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'mahu Amen. We conclude our service with the psalm for Thursday, page 89. On the 5th day of the week, the Levites recited the psalm in the temple. For the leader upon the Gittit, the psalm of the Asaph. Sing with joy to God our strength. Shout with gladness to the God of Jacob. Strike up a melody. Sound the timbrel. Play sweet tones on harp and lyre. Sound the shofar on the new moon and again on the full moon for our festival days. It is the law for the people of Jacob, the statute of the God of Jacob. God ordained it for Joseph's descendants, and when he rose against the land of Egypt, I have heard the speech that I had previously ignored. I removed the burden from their shoulder. Their hands were freed from the load. When you called out in distress, I rescued you. Unseen, I answered you in thunder. I tested your faith at an oasis in the wilderness. Hear this warning, my people Israel, if you would only listen. There shall be no strange God in your midst. You shall not worship an alien God. I am Adonai, your God, who brought you up out of Egypt. Open your mouth wide, and I will fill it. But my people did not listen. Israel would have none of me. So I let them persist in their stubbornness. I let them follow their own inclinations. If only my people would listen to me. If only Israel would walk in my ways. How quickly I would subdue their foes and strike out at their oppressors. Enemies of Adonai shall be humbled. Their downfall shall be unending. But you I will feed with the richest of wheat, with honey from a rock. I will satisfy you. So I wish all of you a Shavua Tov, a good rest of day. We'll be back tomorrow evening for Kabbalat Shabbat, Friday night at 6 p.m., Saturday morning 9:30 a.m., and then again to end Shabbat together via Zoom on Saturday night at 7 p.m. I wish you all a wonderful day and a wonderful rest of week. Nice to see you, Jack, Diane, and Emily, and whoever else is logged in. And we love all of you. Bye-bye.